Welcome to a story of faith, hope, and divine provision. Today we dive into 1 Kings 17, 7-16, a powerful testimony of God's miraculous care in times of desperate need. Faith in the midst of drought. 1 Kings 17, 7-16. Miracles of God. The land was parched. No rain had fallen for a long time, and the people were suffering through a severe drought. But Elijah, the prophet of God, was not afraid. God had told him to go to a certain place, a brook called Cherith, where he promised to provide for him. In this lonely wilderness, God sent ravens to bring Elijah food every morning and evening. Imagine that, birds delivering sustenance. This story reminds us that God can provide in unimaginable ways when we trust Him. But then, the brook dried up. The drought worsened. Elijah faced a new challenge. What would God do now? Would He abandon His servant? Then the word of the Lord came to him. Go at once to Zarephath in the region of Sidon and stay there. I have directed a widow there to supply you with food. God sent Elijah to a widow in the town of Zarephath. He obeys and travels to Zarephath, meets a widow gathering sticks. She was preparing her last meal for herself and her son, afraid they would soon die of starvation. Elijah asked her for water and a piece of bread. She replied, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I am gathering a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die. Though her resources were nearly gone, widow hesitates but obeys. Elijah said to her, Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you have said. But first make a small loaf of bread for me from what you have and bring it to me, and then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, The jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land. The widow chose to trust God's prophet and obey. She gave him what she had. She went away and did as Elijah had told her. And here is the miracle. There was food every day for Elijah and for the woman and her family. For the jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry, in keeping with the word of the Lord spoken by Elijah. Every day there was enough food to sustain them all. God provided abundantly through her faith and obedience. This story shows us that even in the darkest times, God's provision is limitless. When we step out in faith, even with little, God can multiply our blessings. Are you facing a drought in your life? Maybe it's financial struggles, health challenges, or loneliness. Remember Elijah's story. God's power to provide is alive today. If Elijah's journey has inspired you to trust God more, please like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Christian testimonies and faith stories. Comment below how God has provided in your life. We'd love to hear your story.